the Nashville 2 podcast with your host, Edward Fox.
G'day, viewers and listeners. It's Ed Fox back with another great episode of Nashville 2. And Nashville 2 is all about you. So I chose Nashville 2 because you're Nashville 2. So let's tell your story. If you know somebody that should be on the show, have them reach out to me or reach out to me for them. Because there's so many interesting people and so many interesting things going on around Nashville. And today my special guest is Kiran Arad, and she is the creator, founder, everything of Rewaari couture fashion. Now, folks, I'm a guy, number one, and I'm a ninth grade dropout, number two. So I have no idea what couture is. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but Kiran is going to let us know all about that. So Kiran, hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show, Ed. It was really nice.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, we met through the Entrepreneur Center downtown, had a great introduction to what they do, which is fantastic. Tell me a little bit. First, we'll start with, you're not from around here, Kiran, just like me. We're both aliens in the Nashville area, as most of us are. How did you end up in Middle Tennessee?
Right. That's a good question, Ed. So I came to Nashville 25 years ago. Seems a long time, really. So I finished my master's in microbiology back in India, and then I came with my family here. And then, so that's how I landed in the Nashville.
So you finished your master's when you were like 4? Like, you look like you're 25. Like, how do you do that? Like, I know a lot of people. Sorry, go on. So you've been here for 25 years.
Yes.
Microbiologist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to get into fashion, Kiran.
Oh, tell me.
So your family bring you here, you end up in Middle Tennessee, through no choice of your own, drug along. So you've been here 25 years. So tell me, what happened after that? You finish your master's, you're in Nashville. Talk me through whatever you want in that 25 years.
Yeah, so it's not a very easy journey the way I thought. So I already have a master's, right? So I'm already accomplished. That's the way I thought 25 years ago.
Sure.
So, and I would go ahead and send my resumes to different companies, and because they wanted visa status and, citizenship and all that. So that was a very, very beautiful journey. And my family, my husband and my everybody is in IT side. So they used to ask me to jump into the IT, and I was like, no way I'm going to do that, really, because I really respected my, profession.
Right. Well, it's stereotypical. You tell them, look, I'm not your stereotypical Indian. I'm not going to jump into IT. That's what you told them, right?
Right, because I know it's a lot of money or whatever. I just don't want to say anything, but I had a very huge respect for microbiology, microorganisms, really.
Right.
So that's how I did. And then I joined eventually within 1 year or so, State Health Laboratory. I don't know if you remember, at that point, there was an anthrax thing going around in the mailboxes. They used to put the anthrax and all such. So I was the microbiologist manager, and I used to literally wear a space suit kind of thing, go into the lab and, do that anthrax testing. So that's how I stayed there 1 year. And then I said, no, I don't think I want to be really in this profession, really. So that's how I joined Vanderbilt MBA, executive MBA. So by that time, I was already a consultant, management consultant, revenue cycle consultant. And I have at that point, my son was little, really little, very hard. So
you did your MBA at Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And had you grown up around other business owners, or was owning a business on your radar?
No, not really at that point. Not really. let me get that to you.
Sure.
How I connected my business and my creativity. So I did work really hard as in my MBA and getting all those grades. I was always late for the classes at the Vanderbilt because I was finishing my work. I used to travel. I used to go to the hospitals to consult them in a revenue cycle consultant, talking to the CEOs and the CFOs. So that was a very, very stepping stone for me, Ed. I went into I know the hard work was there. I went into the next level because I connected with so many people. I learned so many things because I don't know what I don't know really, right? So I improved my leadership skills, the communication, and how to multitask, how to have a critical thinking, really. It helped me a lot. Analysis, management analysis reports and all that. And then I jumped into the finance industry. That's where my career progression went into like a verticals, really. And people really, to be honest, I was not belonging to a corporate world.
Right.
I was more like a startup person because I wanted to experiment on the things, all the new things, these corporate policies, and going through all the hula hoops. It makes things slow, really, right? So yeah, I'm going to stop over there.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Well, that's exciting. So, okay. So now we transition into you building Rewaari here in Nashville. So tell me a little bit about what it is, what you're doing, and then how you think it's going to affect, well, I'll save that question for last, what it is and what you're doing with it.
Right. So while I was in this corporate company, of course, before COVID, I guess, I have another passion, which I do painting a lot. I do a lot of painting. In between my meetings, I used to paint. Okay. Don't ask me why, but I don't know. It gave me a pleasure, really. Since childhood, I was interested in the paintings. At the same time, since childhood, I would take my mom's silk, fabrics or saris, I would say, the Indian, the sari.
Yep.
Yeah, I would cut them, and she would be so mad at that. And I would make, there used to be a school, we never used to have a date night or anything like that, but I used to cut them and sew it and wear it on my jeans.
Right.
I don't know how I look, but I think that was in my mind, really. I was very good at my cutting. I know that for sure. After that, sewing is the next part, really, right? So I almost left it. Now also I do that. Sewing is not I know, but the finish is not there. The cutting is the main thing. So that's how I started, and then I said, okay, I need to put a plan together. So there are three things with me, like strategy, planning is very good with me. I'm a very organized person. And the only thing is that this fashion business is totally new for me, right? So I need to put the things together. I have the creativity, I have the endurance. I traveled to India. I had this thing in my mind. I said, okay, online, I need to start online. Everything is digital. And because I'm also digital, I buy everything online. So how do I do that? I bought my tickets to India, went into these remote villages. They didn't want to meet me. Because they were scared, really. They were thinking that this alien girl coming into our, daily private life, and what is she doing? Because I think in the past, I think there were several people interviewing them, they don't like being photographed and all that.
Right.
So I think, yeah, I do respect your privacy, but I wanted to see how talented you are because I wanted to combine your talent with my contemporary vision for the modern woman. So they were very willing and shared their embroidery designs, all that. It's in the west part of India. So that was a very good learning. I mean, more than me doing anything, I learned like so much from them.
So where did you grow up in India? So give us one of the biggest cities that was close to where you grew up.
Yeah, so it's in the middle part. It's called Chhattisgarh. It used to be Madhya Pradesh. It's a long term, the state name, but it's a middle part of India.
So that's
So
the state. What's the major city in Pradesh?
yeah, Bhilai. It's called Bhilai. It's known for the steel plant.
Okay.
So I grew up in a township area where I had a really lavish life, exactly like when I say it's like Nashville, my husband laughs at that. But I don't care because I had a very good life, really. We
Right.
used to have like our own club culture, very modern, contemporary. But if you get out of that zone, then you are in a,
Right. So that's the next thing I was going to say, though. Just like most of us, when we grow up in a certain area of our country, when we go to another area of the country, we don't necessarily know everything about how they do things in that area, right? So for you going into these remote villages in Western India, that's something that's outside of your comfort zone too, right? And outside of theirs. And you push through it to achieve the goal that you set for yourself, which was to see their talent and see whether it could mesh with what your vision was.
Correct. And the thing is, we need to work with them instead of they working with us.
Right.
Because they don't know what they don't know. They have the talent, but they don't know how to connect the dots, really.
Right.
And they don't care about the money either.
Right.
The only thing I knew is that if you do not encourage that art and incorporate into the modern world, to the global, it will die.
Right.
Because it's ancient, there's always a way you can bring that, recycle those.
Make it into a contemporary fit. So this is what you're doing with Rewaari. So tell us a little bit about the name Rewaari and the brand. What's your vision?
So Rewaari is a tribe name. It's a tribal name.
Okay.
So that's how I came up with. I'm very impressed with that. The tribe and what they do. They have I think 102 plus embroidery designs they do. And they're all tribal people. That's how the Rewaari name got its name. Rewaari is basically, you can say it's like a fashion forward company. There are many things go around with the Rewaari. It's like only ethical fashion. When we say ethical fashion, it doesn't need to be organic only. When we say ethical fair trade practices, that means I make sure each and every artisans and the team around I'm working with, they're paid very good.
Right.
And I'm very transparent in the communication. Even in when I design mainly, whatever the clothing, and then I listen to them, get on the phone call. They don't normally come on the phone call. So I had to take, it's a really challenging thing for me because it's a time zone and the communication. So I had to get to their level and talk to them.
Right.
And then they put the designs together. They are the team, actually. That's my team. It's not a huge team, but they do the work. Clothing is one product line, and the second one is the silver jewelry line.
Okay.
So I have both of them.
So where could people see that your product line? Is it on? They could go to the website?
Yeah, I do have a website. It's rewaari.com, and I do have the Instagram profile too, Rewaari, and Facebook.
Okay, can you spell that out? Is that Rewaari?
Rewaari.
Rewaari. There you go. See, folks, I spelled it wrong. And we'll have all that information in the show notes from Kiran after the show goes live. So you'll be able to click on that, go to the show notes and find all the information about her products and what she's doing.
As a business owner, it can be tiring paying cash for everything you need. Well, there's a better way. Introducing Trade Bank of Nashville. Our bartering service lets you exchange goods and services without the need for cash transactions. Trade Bank helps businesses like yours reduce expenses, bring in new business, and keep your cash where you need it most. Find out more and join our barter network today. Start getting what you need without paying cash, because sometimes barter is just smarter. Apply today at nashville.tradebank.com.
So now one of the things I was curious about is what's it going to bring to Nashville? Tell me a little bit about what you envision this brand and what you're doing with this fashion brand. What it's going to mean to Nashville.
A lot, actually. So first of all, the mission of Rewaari is to make quality products instead of quantity, right? And use the artisanal techniques. We ensure the quality in the living of the people who make them as well. Okay, we do strive for that. And our vision of the Rewaari is create innovative, eclectic designs with diversity mindset, inclusiveness for a contemporary woman. That's what I want really, because when I go to work, really, I want to wear something I should be able to hop into a cocktail party after that, right?
Right.
I don't need really.
So in Indian fashion has worked in the US before. In the 70s, the Nehru jacket was very popular, right? Back in the day. Yes. So I'm told. That's a little bit before my time. I was little. But it's exciting for me to see the mesh. And as the internet has drawn us together and made the world smaller, we can experience, a lot of us experience different cultures by the food we eat, right? There's plenty of Indian restaurants, there's plenty of Pakistani, there's basically every food type on the world, there is somewhere around USA that you can taste that. So you're taking these designs out of the village and bringing them into Nashville.
Yes. So what it's going to bring to Nashville, to answer your question, I'm getting to that point, is very simple. Think about it. Like we talk about the global pollution and environment and green, all such, and also diversity, actually. So the first thing is, yes, I'm outsourcing my team is making back in India because they have the art. I wish that art was here. I could do it. But I want to leave them intact. The first thing what it's going to do is that create jobs for them. I'm not going to believe in charity, but I want to them to be self-sustained. That way they are more confident and they know that their products are going out and someone else is appreciating. That's number one. It's a win-win situation. And in Nashville, what it's going to do is that since I'm doing the online, I'm going to create jobs eventually that I need a lot of inventory management, right? And there is it's totally a digital world, really.
Right.
Everything is mobile based, online. The third thing is that, especially the Middle Tennessee, we will have a competitive edge compared to the rest of the states in the United States. Now it is New York, but Middle Tennessee already has a music city name, right? I personally feel it needs to be a little bit more diverse. And it needs to be in the fashion forward, meaning they're more ethical and the green environment caring about it. So I think I'm going to bring that value. So that's what I'm thinking.
A hub. It could be Nashville. Not only could be a hub for music and for healthcare and the different industries we're seeing growing up here. There's no reason why it couldn't be a fashion hub as well.
Right, and there are many designers. Believe me, there are very talented ones here. But I think I have a unique advantage here. USP is I'm bringing the craftsmanship with the contemporary, it's a mix of things, really.
Right. There's so much going on with people in Nashville. We had a lady on the show a few months ago, Marie Quinn with Q Up Style, which I was able to connect you with. Yes. I think there is some great vision and some great leadership of startups in Nashville. And that's why I love having you guys on the show, because there's so much going on. Anything else you want to add to that, what you were just talking about?
Nothing. I just want to add one more thing, that we keep talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And believe me, that's to my heart. I was a board member of that, diversity, equity, inclusion. You know what I started thinking is that are we thinking just superficial? Or do we mean what do we talking about really? It's not a political statement. Do it and show it, really, right? So I think that's what is the young generation are I think Nashville is embracing all that. And I think this is the right time to embrace all these startup companies and include them, encourage them. You will see the difference.
Right. And encouragement. I don't know about you, but I find sometimes as an entrepreneur, encouragement moves me further along than just about anything else.
Yes.
We don't see it like you do. We don't understand what you're doing, but we're encouraging you. You've got a great passion for it. Keep building, which I think is great.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. When you are not working, which we all know as an entrepreneur, you're always working, you're always seeing inspiration in different things. But when you're not working, we do a thing on the show called the 3 Hidden Gems. What are some of the things you and your family like to do when you're not working on your businesses?
Oh, we are a family of travel.
Okay.
We hike a
stay in
lot.
Middle Tennessee. Things we like to do around Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee, we explored. I think there are a few areas we haven't explored. I think I did explore, I will be honest. Leaper's Fork is my favorite.
Okay. Why Leaper's? What at Leaper's Fork was did you enjoy?
Special. Yeah, it's so different. It's like a different town itself by itself. It has a history also, I heard a lot about it. My son used to tell me, Mom, you need to go and bike over there. I never understood, but we literally did last year, I think, Leaper's Fork, and it was so amazing. There are some small jewelry shops.
Right.
I think pockets. I think there is a pockets
grocery store. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I found that. It's very interesting. And the second one I found is Germantown. It's growing so much. Those are the favorite parts for me, honestly. And East Nashville, of course, it's like a little bit overrated now, East Nashville, but Germantown is the one. It's very good.
So is there being Indian, do you eat Indian food a lot out?
I don't, I do, but I don't like it much because it's very creamy and it's not the same taste. And I need to cook for you. I will invite you.
So it's a lot more, it seems to be a lot more Northern Indian, right? Or Southern Indian. The Indian restaurants that I go to around, and I love Indian food, is either Northern or Southern. There seems to be no in between.
Yes, there are some cuisines which I think that's missing. It's spicy a little bit. It's different spicy, I would say.
Right. Well, it's more flavorful. The thing that impressed me most about going to India, I was in Ahmedabad and Delhi in 2017, 2018.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah, we were over there for a wedding, the White Horse, the 3-day wedding in Gujarat, all that sort of stuff. And it was a blast. We had a great time. We were treated wonderfully. But the thing that I loved the most, I fell in love with paneer. And paneer is a cheese.
Oh, it is. Yes.
Yeah. People go over here, they say, oh, it's like tofu. No. It's nothing like tofu. You get a good paneer, it's hard to beat. But so, here it's like chicken tikka, butter chicken, it's the same. It's the chicken tikka masala. It's all the same, which is good. But I found this place out in Bellevue called 615 Chutney.
615 Chutneys, yes.
That, oh my gosh, like it is a little spicy for maybe most people that aren't into that. And I had to do like just above mild, but there's shrimp. I call it like a shrimp gumbo, but this shrimp thing they did, and then all the different breads that they do in India, right? Whether it be chapati or roti or naan or, there's like 100 different names for all the different breads that you guys do, just like American breads. But that's one of my favorite Indian restaurants I've been to anywhere in the world. Is that place? Is it Fairview or Bellevue? I can never, I'll have to look it up. I'll put it in the show notes, folks, because I can never remember.
I think they were in the East Nashville one time. I think so. I haven't been there actually. I went there for a party, but I stopped eating outside so much.
Right.
The only, I think, place, I'm a little Indo-Chinese person, kind of. I like noodles.
Right.
Also, I have a lot of restrictions, like I'm a vegetarian.
Right.
I eat chicken, but that chicken needs to be only chicken tikka, nothing else. So, or Hattie B's chicken. So Yeah, those are the ones.
They've got a name for people that just eat chicken, but as vegetarian. So yeah, that was my trouble. You know, in Gujarat, they don't allow any, it's hard to get beef, right? You can get water buffalo, that sort of stuff. But man, I was craving some beef by the time I left there. But I had the best trip to India. So, you know,
there's the alcohol part over there. They don't sell alcohol.
See, I tell people I was deported because as an Aussie, you'd think every Australian drinks. And I got deported because I don't drink. That's my story. They put a nipple on a can of Foster's at 2 years old, and if you don't drink it in 30 seconds, they kick you out of the country. So that's the joke that I tell people. But yeah, so that part didn't bother me so much, but it was not being able to get the beef. But it's funny, a lot of people don't understand that the Indian spice, it's not like Mexican spice, which can be really, really hot. India, the cuisine uses so many different flavorful spices that aren't hot. They have flavor, right? And I think that ties right back into like your Indian color festival, where, you know, they're putting all the different color powders. And then like fashion, just like fashion, India is it's a melting pot of all these different things that have been collected as people have come through over the years. And I just think it's a beautiful culture. And I think it's amazing what you're doing to bring some of that out of a remote area into where people like me and my wife and other people can see it maybe for the first time.
Yes, thank you. And me too, actually. There are certain things I don't know myself really, because I only saw in the movies or, you know, some documentary, I would say. Right. I wanted to really touch and feel, so that I can bring that here and make a business out of it really. And it's just, I don't think, I have a big dream really. I'm hoping that will bring the economy a little bit more, and, you know, it's going to be our future really. Sure. So that's the way I'm thinking, futuristic.
So if people want to connect with you, they can find you on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Is that the best place for them to, and probably Instagram would be a great place to connect as well?
Instagram is the one. I am mostly on the Instagram because most of our, there is an age range really. And there are certain people, they go only on Facebook. Either way, I get messages.
Right.
I'm a very savvy digital person and I get notifications. I do everything myself. So my Instagram profile, everything I post myself. I don't have any person digital maintaining because I had to pay money. I don't have that much money to pay them.
Yep. That's the way it is, right?
It is what it is. But I know one thing that it's very genuine. It is what it is. There is no, so that's the main thing I wanted to bring, add transparency really. What you're doing, show the people, because that's how I do things.
Yeah. And so last thing I want to touch on, the last guest that I just had on, I don't know if your episodes are going to air in order. That's my producer takes care of that. But we were talking about how helpful the networking in Nashville is and the business climate with the Entrepreneur Center, the different chambers. Have you found it really easy to get the help you need and get great advice from those sorts of organizations? Do you have any that stand out to you?
Not really, but Nashville Entrepreneur Center, I just joined 2 weeks ago, excuse me.
Same time I did, actually.
Yes, and I found like wealth of information in this organization itself, Nashville Entrepreneur, and amazing, really. They are not just saying what, you know, they are really helping out, really. Rest of the industries, I connect with the LinkedIn, and sometimes people respond, sometimes they don't, which is fine, I guess. That's part of my business, I guess. I'm like,
yeah. Well, yeah. So I guess I was focusing on the Entrepreneur Center. Anybody that's looking to start a business or has questions about business, the Entrepreneur Center really does do a great job. Very diverse group of business owners and people starting businesses down there. I highly recommend people check that out. Kiran, it's been great having you on the show. As you progress, will you come back and give us an update?
I will certainly do that, Ed. And thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
This is the Nashville 2 podcast with your host, Edward Fox.